Nowadays, the newer BFDI and Teapot episodes are usually having a theatrical release first before you find it when aired on YouTube. Well, this is something which has to be appreciated first because for the first time ever, an object show that usually went on YouTube for the last 16 years is now went on theater. And anyone who bought the ticket to watch these newer BFDI episodes to watch in theater can meet with other BFDI fans one with another, especially when it comes to the meetup friends with BFDI X II meetup. Fans can finally meet with Huang twins along with other crews. While I'm appreciating for their effort to make BFDI be on theater scenario or two, it doesn't mean it will not have a side effect. So with this whole theoretical release, the side effect I mean is the culture that few people already think is normal and is feel very normalized even though it's bad in some ways. In general, some people did this with the other movies every time when they are in theater, which recording some parts of that movie with their phone then post it on YouTube or other social media platform. And the same thing happens to the every new BFDI or Teapot episodes which are released on the theater. So that side effect I meant is the leaks. I've been talking about this once on this video, but I'm gonna mainly pointing out again since I feel like this pattern with this side effect for this whole theatrical release has pretty much the same. And this might be getting annoying for some BFDI fans, including myself, because considering that BFDI since the beginning is a web series, not a theatrical movie. And even though the episode durations nowadays has always more than a half of hours, BFDI for the exception though, I think it's still fair to say that. The solution for us who aren't able to pay to watch the theatrical releases for BFDI or Teapot to avoid to getting spoiled or getting leaked, and mostly avoiding to get accidentally being leaked, either you have to log out from social media for a short period of time, or surfing the internet on incognito mode or private mode until the episode released on YouTube. While it works, this pattern for every theatrical release I've mentioned keep repeating until the latest episode of BFDI or Teapot, and no any sign that the situation keeps getting better for us who are prefer to wait for the YouTube release as used to be. Because this whole recording culture in general is almost impossible to get rid of it. Because this whole recording culture in general is almost impossible to get rid of it. Because they already think it's normal thing to do. Even when they release this video on YouTube to tell the viewers a few things that they could do when they are watching BFDI or Teapot episode in theater, some people are just straight ignored.
So please be present with us in the moment and keep cell phones and cameras put away until after the screening.
And few people are pointing out the difference between the theatrical version and the YouTube version, meaning there's obviously some difference between these series. And in my opinion, I don't see the necessary for the team to create the two different versions for one episode of BFDI or Teapot, while they can just put it right away on YouTube release and let all the BFDI fans see that stuff without making some group of people having their exclusivity and willing to pay for the theatrical release. And we are now on the BFDI 24, and that for the first time ever for a while, it went finally aired on YouTube without theatrical release bullcrap. But it turned out, I'm expecting too much. I'm expecting that we are getting into the final elimination right away, and then the winner of BFDI being announced at the end of BFDI 24. But none of these things happens. Instead, we are getting dragged out for over 40 minutes straight just to see who's gonna be the last contestant to be eliminated. And makes me think it's a filler episode. Now let's turn our attention to BFDI 25, the final episode of BFDI. And I'm not worried that this one will have a very high chance to be a theatrical release first, like the other episodes of BFDI and Teapot, because considering the side effect and its pattern would not gonna change that much, and potentially the hype for this episode will be ruined by those kids who are dead enough to leak and spoil who's gonna win BFDI through of their recording of quote-unquote audience reaction to YouTube. Despite we can see that Jack and Jellyfish was indeed has taken down some of those leaks. Though imagine we have to do that on every single list on the internet or YouTube, and I think it's not worth the fix. And when it comes to us, the algorithm some days might suddenly give that like video on your feed for absolutely no reason, despite our effort to avoid it. And imagine we have to do that every single time with a brand new episode of BFDI or Teapot which are released on theater first before they got released on YouTube. Okay, maybe you could just say, why don't you just using incognito mode? Isn't that hard to wait for a few days until it got posted on YouTube? Well, here's the thing, it doesn't fix the core problem. Of course, once the episode released on YouTube, and then like few days or weeks later, the feed recommends you that leaked video from the theater, you will just likely don't care and prouding yourself that you are not got leaked. But that is the thing. The leaking culture, they are brought every time when these new episodes are released. And some of those guys are think doing this is normal, while this video say the opposite. I mean, isn't that BFDI a type of reality show? Like, now imagine like those big TV corpos making some of their reality shows went on theater first, instead of airing it on TV straight away, and they choose to airing it those episodes on TV later on. And then some people are straight recording some parts of that reality show, especially who are become the winner of that reality show, and then posting it to YouTube or other social media platform. And some people might find the hype is ruined because of those people. So even those big TV corpos don't make their reality show programs went on theater first that frequently, or not at all. And I still think this whole recording culture is bad in some ways. Though I'm not saying that making BFDI went theater are completely bad, but it has that side effects which is almost impossible to get rid of it, because again, those people are already think it's normal thing to do. So what is the solution from you then? Well, that's the only one ultimate solution. Make BFDI 25 a YouTube release only, just like the BFDI 24. Like, what's the big deal? And all of us can hyping this episode without being afraid on getting accidentally leaked by those kids. And that's why I wanna see BFDI 25 to be just another YouTube only release without theatrical release bullcrap. I don't think this time for BFDI 25, that one is not worth to release on theater because of that leaking culture which they are bragging since Jack and Jellyfy start release most of every single BFDI or T-Pod episodes bring on theatrical release first. So please once again, to Carrie and Michael, make BFDI 25 a YouTube release only. Let all of us celebrate the series finale of BFDI without making some of group of people having a special treatment like this whole theatrical release. Just like when the hype of BFD 30 until it's finally released. Remember that time, friends? So guys, consider this. And remember why I'm only addressed for BFDI 25. This will also apply to the final episode of T-Pod 2. But since T-Pod hasn't reached to the series finale yet, I will just address that for the BFDI 25. Maybe they could just make T-Pod 22 and 23 to be theatrical release first instead of BFDI 25 on future. So that's it for my video about my concern about the BFDI 25 that most likely to be a theatrical release, and I will see you all in the other videos. God bless you.